Hello and welcome to a live stream. I've done lots and lots of live streams, but this is my very first one where I actually have a guest, and I'm so excited and so thrilled to offer more content for you from other people who are experts. And so I'm going to start having these live streams with some guests who can offer you guys some help and some areas of expertise that are not necessarily my areas of expertise, but we'll be able to help you guys in everything that you're doing. So today's expert is Keri Ford, who is an expert in wellness and self-care, and she owns Elevate with Carrie, and she has her own journey with struggling with wellness, and now she helps people all over the world with this. And so I know so many of you are dealing with self-care, and you feel so paralyzed and you feel so powerless. And it's like the last thing you want to think about is like eating healthily or exercising or including anything in your life that it's like taking care of yourself. You're just in like survival mode half the time, right? And we've all been there. Mm-hmm. So if you're joining me from Facebook, you're joining me from YouTube, give it a like, give it a share, make sure that you're here. We want to know what your questions are as well. You can drop questions in the comments and we will answer those. So I want to have a little conversation with Carrie at first. So tell me a little bit about your journey, Carrie, and where, how did you even decide that you wanted to devote your life to this?
Oh man, that's a loaded question, I think. Well, those of you just joining, my name is Keri Ford, and thank you, Rebecca, for that lovely introduction. This is the calling on my heart, where I get to serve, people in finding their true intuitive voice, their true through food, through movement, through their body, really accessing what is their truth. Because from that place of self-love, I realized in my own journey, I was likely to stay in motivation from a really positive place versus from fear and control and restraint, right? So to your question, I had an eating disorder in college, and, talk about an all-time low. I just remember looking in the mirror and absolutely hating what I saw. It just highlighted all the places within myself that I didn't feel good enough. And so over the years, I kind of learned to shush my intuitions, not really follow my passions, and quiet that inner voice. But, especially those of you going through like a post-narcissistic relationship, you're learning, well, what is me and what is my voice and where do I get to listen to that? And that shows up even in food and the way that we treat our body and ourselves, right? Boundaries and self-care.
Yes, totally. And so I think all of us can relate to times like not all of us had an eating disorder, but all of us have had ways that maybe not feeling worthy or not feeling good enough shows up in our lives and disempowers us, and, if you're a human being, you're dealing with it, and we've all had to deal with toxic personalities and difficult people. I know you and I have had this discussion about some of the people that we've both had to deal with, and it's never fun, and it makes you feel disempowered, and it's like traumatizing, and it's abusive, right? And so when you're in that type of situation, and you are divorced, by the way, and you're a single mom,
I am.
And so you've had to deal with difficult times and, difficult situations with your ex or your ex's family. Yeah. And, I'm sure that there are times that you've like, screw it, I'm not eating healthy, or I'm not exercising today, or I'm not doing anything to help myself today because I feel like I don't even want to get out of bed. Have you had those moments?
Totally. I have definitely had when you go through a divorce, you are literally divorcing the life that you had. I think, oh shoot, my nanny is here and I have to let her in because the door is locked. Oh my gosh. She's gonna have to
well, go ahead, and I'm gonna just answer a couple of questions.
Okay, answer a couple questions.
This is we're live here, people, and this is what happens when you're live sometimes. And I see Michael Beck is saying, I guess I'm spending all day with you, Rebecca. I love it. So you were on my, I just came off doing a 2-hour webinar this morning. And I didn't realize that I had these scheduled back to back. So I have a little bit of a voice issue, but that's okay. I'm happy to be here and I love serving. It actually energizes me. So I was just noticing that some of the people are like Michael Beck is saying, I guess I'm spending all day with you, Rebecca, because he was on my 2-hour webinar this morning.
I love that. Thank you
I love that. I love that.
Home, #COVID, nannies and kids and all the things. So yeah, single mom, right? That's just what we do.
Been there.
Yes.
Been there. And so those of you who were on my webinar this morning, you saw a picture of me with all my little babies when I was like 22 years old with little ones. And hey, this is what we got to do, right? So I remember watching Marsha Clark during the OJ trial, and she was like, I can't stay. My nanny, I have to go. I have to relieve my nanny and I don't have anybody to watch my kids. And she's like saying this on like international television to the judge. And I was like, oh my God, I could so relate.
What do you do? You know? Exactly. And it's, and also with like COVID, you know, one of my child's school is not even open yet. So we're just sort of, you know, day to day here, but yeah. So to go back to your question, Rebecca, you know, when you go through that divorce, you are divorcing the life that you had. I mean, even your routine is going to be upheaved, right? Like maybe you had a gym that you went to and maybe you had a routine with like the favorite places that you ate or the way that you were living life in this routine. And now you've just kind of thrown it all out the window in a way because you're like, okay, now I'm rebuilding my entire life. And what does that look like? And where am I going to live? And what's the gym over there? And it's just a whole thing. So yeah, I mean, what I help women specifically, but you know, people in general do is create these automatic healthy behaviors, these healthy patterns. We take a look at, okay, where can we make some choices that support us, whether it be the body, the energy, the, you know, just really feeling like, especially when you're divorced, you're like, oh, I'm dating again. Like, wow, here we are. I want to like feel good in my body. So what does that look like? And what kind of choices are you making in order to support that?
Yeah. So what advice would you give people to just start like today? Like, I'm just so feeling like crap today. I'm totally being pummeled by that narcissist in my life. And I don't even want to even think about eating, or the only thing I want to think about eating is crap, or exercise just seems like such a luxury. What do we do? How do we start?
Yeah, so I have what I call the 5-minute commitment, and that is just committing to 5 minutes for movement, whether it be at the gym, in a workout area in your house, putting on a YouTube video, whatever that looks like, whatever feels good to you to do, because you want it to be fun and playful. So you just commit to 5 minutes. And if after that 5 minutes you still don't feel like doing the workout, being at the gym, you just give yourself permission to leave. But most of the time, and I think you guys can all agree, the hardest part's getting there or starting. So once you start doing that, once you get there, you're more likely, nearly 100% of the time, to actually stay there and like, oh, I just needed to get moving. I just needed to like get changed. I just needed to put these like beats in my ears. And suddenly you've worked out and it's one of the best workouts you've had of the week.
Yeah, I mean, I have found, like, even for myself, you know, hey, it's COVID. So a lot of times you're just home by yourself or whatever, or maybe it's just you and your kids or whatever. Put on like some kind of dance music. Just say, you know, Alexa, put on dance music. I better not say that too loud or it's going to happen. Because downstairs.
Put on Bieber. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's something fun. And then you just like dance a little bit and who cares? No one's going to see you. And it just gets like the blood flowing and the juices flowing. And you just feel better. Like, because you just had like 5 minutes of fun. Right. And if you've got little kids or whatever, just have them join in the dance party too.
My kids love doing that. We set up circuits. So like one of us will have weights, one has a band, and then the other has like boxing gloves. So of course my son loves to just, you know, goes for, I'm like, full song, you got to go for a full song. And he's like, oh, by the end, you know, like these are heavy.
Yeah, but it's like fun, right? Okay, so somebody has a question. Lynn has a question. What about timing in the day, like early in the day versus the afternoons? What do you think about that?
Sure. I mean, obviously there are better times of day to work out based on hormones and metabolism and things like that. But here's the thing, the best time of day to work out is the one that's going to get done. So if you know, based on what you've observed in your patterns and the way that you operate, oh, end of the day, I tend to be very tired and I just want to relax, or the kids are home or dinner needs to be made, there's a lot of things going on, then chances are that's probably not a good time for you to work out, or even after dinner, maybe you're having trouble unwinding. So knowing that you're going to support yourself in getting in a workout that feels really good, the best time might be the morning. So I would say the best time that supports you based on the time you're most likely to do it is going to benefit you the most.
Yeah. And it might even be like in between things, like, especially if you're working from home or whatever, like, maybe you just kind of put a timer on your phone and you go, after an hour, I'm going to get up. I'm going to go get some water.
Yeah.
I'm going to go and then just like dance for a little bit or walk your dog or, even
you can do time blocking. That definitely helps, especially where there's more gray area with us working from home. That's actually been a really tough adjustment mentally and emotionally for a lot of people, because the feelings they've already had and things that they were kind of sitting with, they were able to busy themselves and go places and do things. And now it's just sort of, amplifying the things that are already there, such as, oh, I find myself in my pantry 10 times a day and I'm not even hungry, or I have no boundaries because I don't have a home office, and everything's just sort of blurring together. So doing the time blocking may really support a schedule and routine, again, that just energetically lets you shift into different modes. So that's a great point, Rebecca.
Yeah. Okay. And so how about food? Like, what would you suggest about eating?
Yeah.
Because a lot of people are like, I don't have money to buy like everything organic or whatever. Like, what would you suggest about that?
Yeah, so I teach a lot based on the principles of intuitive eating. And so the cool thing is that I teach you to listen to yourself and identify what is self, what is that voice. So for example, it would look like if you're in the pantry or if you're in the refrigerator, just having a pattern interrupt. And so that looks like step one of, do I want food right now? Am I hungry? And the answer may be yes, it may be no. But if the answer is yes, then you get to honor that. So that's step one, just having a pattern interrupt. Then it becomes, what do I want to have? So in that moment, it's like, okay, am I just trying to eat something out of convenience here that might be a little bit more carb heavy, that's not super nutrient dense? Or do I have a little extra time here that I can support myself, knowing that I'm going to feel better after I eat a salad energetically with some protein and healthy fats on there? So really, again, being intentional and tapping in and asking self, what is it in this moment that would support me and what feels good?
And what about like and that's great advice, by the way. And it's like so much easier than like, okay, you have to go out and buy all this like certain diet food or whatever, right?
Yeah.
But what about like for like a grab and go or like an easy sort of a thing? Like, because to me, like sometimes I think, oh, I should eat a salad, but I don't feel like making, like, it's just like a lot of work, right? So what would be good?
Well, I love this because it's really a simple pre-frame. Like, it's just an adjustment here. So I actually had a client time for me. She goes, oh, Uber Eats is just more convenient. I said, okay, well, let's time it from the moment you sit down with your husband and decide on what you're going to eat and get it to your door versus having food already in your refrigerator that you can grab and go and just cook. What's shorter? Turns out cooking was shorter, and so it was actually more convenient. But we have this idea that ordering food because we're not making it is more convenient. So choose which convenient you want to anchor into. The other thing is really just, again, adjusting the framework around what is a fast food. Fast food is typically a drive-through, or maybe you think of McDonald's, maybe you think of Starbucks, or something that you grab at a gas station, like a donut or a hot dog or something. But if you look around, I challenge you to actually look at the other fast foods, because most gas stations have bananas and apples and hard-boiled eggs. So it's really just, oh, wait, this is equally as fast, but I'm actually choosing this other societally labeled like fast food, right? So it's just a simple pre-frame.
Totally. I love that. I love that. And it is true. I mean, there are times that you go into the gas station or whatever, there's a whole stack of bananas there, right? I mean, it's definitely
they're always right there. And you're like, yeah, I'm going to go get this instead.
But like the nachos are right there.
Yeah.
I'm loving that Michael is saying, fight off procrastination. The right time is now. I love that. And I want to acknowledge Nikki, who also said that she attended my 2-hour as well. It was awesome. How awesome is that?
They're just soaking all the goodness up.
You are the best. Okay, so Lynn is asking about some good protein choices. What would you say about that?
Yeah, I mean, again, if you enjoy certain proteins and it's easy for you to cook, then go for those. I am, again, like in the vein of like, if you're going to eat it and you enjoy it, you're more likely to continue that. And if you're likely to continue that, you create consistency, sustainability, and you keep doing it because it feels good and it's easy, because I want to set you up for success. So the protein that you get to eat is the ones that you like, and you get to be creative with it. So again, ones that I love are salmon. I just love to bake that in the oven, wrapped in some foil. You can put it over a bed of just, julienne carrots. You can also do some baked chicken or do crock pot chicken or instant pot, whatever is, again, I'm not fancy in the kitchen. I'm just like soup, whatever's easy. But those are my go-tos, and I love having tacos. So I will do like an organic ground beef with tacos and whip it up with like avocado and all of the yummy goodness, black beans, and put it in a nice whole wheat wrap.
I love that. That sounds so good. Okay, so somebody is asking, what do you think of keto diets?
Yeah, I mean, I think it depends on the person. Do certain diets work? Yeah, until they don't, right? So it's the key is, and the reason why we want to perhaps steer away from a specific diet is if we can't see ourselves doing it forever, literally, it's probably going to be temporary then. And if it's going to be temporary, what do you think will happen after you're done with that diet? You will either seek another one, or there will be this kind of roller coaster effect where you're either on or off. So for that reason, I really don't advise clients to go into any diet unless, of course, there is, I have to say, the doctor's orders or some other medical disclaimer around like something specific that you are trying to work through with medical support. But yeah, diets don't work because they work until they don't.
Yeah, it's so hard to stay on them.
Right. And that's the point. Yeah. So if you can create a sustainable lifestyle and maybe take some things, if you like keto and you feel good doing this or you feel good doing that, and just kind of custom build what feels good to you, you're going to keep doing it. And man, that feels so much more liberating than like the shackles of I can't have this and I can't have that, and operating from the space of just obedience.
I know. My husband always says, I need black and white. I need to know I can eat this, I can't eat that. Okay. So Urzabet, I hope I'm saying that right. Urzabet, where are you from, Urzabet? I want to know where you're from. So she says, I think it's a she, but she says, I like to cook, but sometimes I'm too depressed to cook. And that makes sense because, I know what you're dealing with, right? So she goes, I know when I cook, I make better quality food than anything I can order, and there's less rubbish. But what would you say to her?
Yeah, well, first, I just want to send you so much love and thank you for sharing that. And, we just support you in this moment that is challenging, and just hold some space for you there. But I would, if you're able to, either two things, music that makes you feel good. Really releases some feel good hormones. So put something that feels good on and can maybe help you shift your mood. And another thing I would encourage you to do is maybe just to kind of put your hand on your heart. And I'm very spiritual, and I guide my clients.
I'm going to do it right now with you.
Yeah, we can just close our eyes and we can connect to our heart center. And I want you to actually step into
everybody who's watching right now, do it with us. Okay. Yes. I want to see that you're doing it.
Amazing. So hand on heart, you're going to close your eyes. And as you close your eyes, I want you to look down towards your heart center, because we're looking away from our thoughts of what we think we are, right? This identity, these feelings. Just look down towards your heart. And then you can anchor into the feeling of how good it feels after you've cooked. So if you know that experience, right, just like it feels good to go to the gym, that moment after you finish the workout, accomplishment, success, contentment, support, self-love, feel that before the experience occurs, and you're more likely to just close the gap there.
Beautiful. So beautiful. So Michael is also suggesting meal prep, like especially for when I'm getting my little one on my days off. It works out so much better when having a toddler. So that's a great suggestion, Michael, as well. Okay, let's see if we have any other questions. Nikki's saying dance like nobody's watching.
Or if people are, that's fine too.
Yeah. Oh, Crosby's saying Rebecca is my hero. You are my hero. You guys all watching are my heroes, because the fact that you're showing up over here and you're trying to help yourself, that means that you have taken steps to better yourself, that you are taking steps to break free and create a new life for yourself. So you guys are the heroes, truly. And the fact that you're here listening to Keri and like picking up ways to take care of yourself, acknowledge yourself for that, because that takes so much, especially when you're stuck in these relationships. So really, really awesome. Okay, so let's see if we have any more questions. Oh, Elizabeth says that she's from Hungary. So she's tuning in from Hungary. Isn't that awesome?
That's amazing.
What time is it over there? I would love to know. Okay, so love you, Rebecca. Love you. Okay, so Love Peace says, hi, Rebecca and Keri. Who else has some questions for Keri? You guys, I know you're struggling with self-care, and you coping with narcissists is so difficult. Like, okay, so let's talk about this procrastination. Michael brought up procrastination. How do you overcome that?
Sometimes you see the growth edge and you just gotta see the fear and do it anyway. Right? So imperfect action, as a recovering perfectionist myself, that's something that I constantly am practicing. I'm like, okay, am I choosing fear in this moment, or am I choosing love? Right? And so that from that place, I make a choice to take action from.
Oh, yeah. I love that. Okay. So Nikki is asking, I have to be on a low oxalate 50 milligram daily eating plan. Any suggestions?
That one is going to be out of scope for me, just because I would rather my registered dietitian or your doctor be able to answer that, especially because, answers can vary, and I just want to be very careful about what we advise.
Okay. And Karazi says, you ladies are awesome and fantastic, amazing, wonderful, and beautiful.
Thank you.
So somebody's asking about eating in the car. Like, what can you do to eat in the car? What would be good suggestions that are helpful?
Sure. And I would challenge you, why are you eating in the car? Because if we're eating in the car, we are more likely to eat and consume more. Why? Because we are doing two things at once. We're in a way unconsciously acting. So this is what I tell my clients. You get to be a king and a queen. You don't eat out of to-go containers. You don't stand up in the kitchen and eat. You sit at a table with a real plate and a real place setting with people you want to connect with around the table, with no technology, because you are going to be present in the moment. You're going to actually taste the food, and you're going to be consciously experiencing that. And food brings us together. Oftentimes we are seeking harmony in relationship, connection, and intimacy with those around us. And so you will harmonize your household in doing the same as well.
I love that. Okay. And somebody else is asking about vitamin suggestions.
Sure. So again, one of those things where I'm not comfortable advising, given I don't know your whole health history. There are certain things, of course, that kind of conflict with other medications. So we have to be really careful about what we advise on. But I mean, I can tell you a few things that I take, which is vitamin C, vitamin D3. I also take a BCAAs, which is branched chain amino acids, post-workout. And I love to supplement with protein powder, which isn't necessarily a vitamin, but it is something that I supplement with as well. And I love Organifi. If you haven't had Organifi, those are loaded with tons of nutrient dense. It's a powder. It's a whole system, morning, noon, and night. And those just taste fantastic. They're really easy.
Oh, yeah, good. I actually take a lot of vitamins too. I take a whole slew of stuff. So for those of you who are on, I just want to remind you all to if you are joining me from Facebook and you haven't subscribed to my YouTube, go do that. If you're watching from YouTube and you haven't joined my free private Facebook group, do that, or like my page. just to make sure that you have total access to all of the resources. And like this video too, especially for those of you who aren't watching this live, because this is going to live both in the Facebook group, on my Facebook page, and in the YouTube. And I want Keri, tell us where we can learn more about you, and people can connect with you, work with you, all that sort of thing.
Absolutely. So we actually just launched a brand new program. It's a membership platform called The Collective. This is for women only, but I teach you how to unlock your intuition through the access point of wellness. So we use intuitive eating and things like that to work with you. And it's a great way to get back into your body. So that is at elevatewithkeri.com. And then you can connect with me on Instagram at elevatewithkeri. It's Keri. And if something resonated with you, I would love to hear from you. Just shoot us a DM. I read all of the messages, and I would love to know what kind of spoke to you and what hit home.
Yes. So please go follow her on Instagram. Go talk to her. Use her resources. I'm seeing some people are saying, I'm having a lot of down days. I'm having a tough time. A couple of people are really saying that. Go talk to Keri. Use what she's got. She is incredible. She's amazing. I'm bringing her here to you because I want her to serve my community. I want her to be there to serve you in ways that I don't necessarily serve you. And I want you to have all the help. You've got to be holistic about this. You've got to feel good. You have to have that mental power so that you can do this fight in a way that's empowering, and you're firing on all cylinders. So your Instagram page is Elevate with Keri.
Yes. Yeah, okay. Absolutely. And I love what you just said, Rebecca, because now is your time to really choose yourself, get clear on what you want, and do the thing that you get to do just freely. Right. And I know that it's a healing process. And so we're here for you. I would love to connect and see if I can support you in any way.
Absolutely. All right. So thank you all for joining me today. Go follow Keri. Go get in touch with her. Use her resources. That's what she's here for. Make sure that you like my page, can subscribe. Grab my free Crush My Negotiation worksheet if you haven't already at winmynegotiation.com, because we want you to have as many free resources as you can. And thank you so much for joining me today. We send you all light and love and strength and courage. You can do this. You know you can, and we're going to help you.
Yeah.